Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Today's adventure, we kick off a new video series documenting annual passes for Disneyland. If you're like me, my annual pass is my favorite thing that I own. It's the gift I give myself every single year that I never ever feel guilty about. It's a tremendous value, and I just love knowing that every single day of the year, I have a key that opens up the park. So there are many ways to tell this story, but today we will focus on one detail to keep this a series of shorter videos and not make them go on forever, because literally this topic could go on forever. So right out of the gate, yes, I'm predicting your annual pass is safe. I'm also predicting no, Disney is not getting rid of annual passes. But yes, you must be willing to have patience and realize that the annual pass program is probably going to get placed on pause. And if it is paused, I can assure you that it will return. It will be temporary. It will be a move to help them get over the hump. Disneyland cannot afford to let all of us go and to let their annual pass program go away forever. That's a whole other video. That's a whole other topic. We'll get there. But for today, I just want to calm your nerves and get you prepared for the idea that your annual pass may be paused, but it's not going away. So today we're going to predict the pause, or the annual pause, if you will, of the AP program at the Disneyland Resort. Now, I do believe that the annual pause is most likely coming. This is something we should just get used to. This is something we should think about. We should get prepared to know that our annual pass is probably going to get put on pause. The entire program may just be completely paused for a moment. So in pause, I'm not saying that you'll still have a card or you'll still have a membership. It could just temporarily go away. But what I'm telling you is, if that happens, it will come back. It has to. Let's do the math on why pause is probably the proper answer for everyone involved. AP holders, regular ticket buyers, and Disneyland. When Disneyland reopens, it will have less capacity due to COVID-19 restrictions for theme parks in the state of California. It is estimated that on an average day at Disneyland, when it's hustling and bustling and full and feels like it's supposed to, that's 65,000 guests. Now, the theme park requirement for the state of California on reopening will be 25%. So to keep our numbers nice and even and to play it safe, let's say that will be 15,000 people that will be allowed into Disneyland. Now, on a normal day, if Disneyland annual pass holders make up 50% of the park's attendance, and that number could be way higher outside of the holidays when they block most folks out for 2 weeks. Not me though. That means on an average day, 30,000 annual pass holders show up to the Disneyland Resort, meaning that a regular day at Disneyland, there are twice as many people there with annual passes than will be allowed when the park reopens due to the COVID-19 California restrictions. So if you take the 15,000 that they will be allowed to have in the park and you divide that into two, roughly, you get 7,000 guests, keeping it even. Half ticketed folks, half annual pass holders. You would get 7,000 per day on the annual pass program. Now, this is where it gets wild. Disneyland has an estimated 1 million annual pass holders. And if Disneyland can only give out 7,000 reservations per day, that's making a 1/7 of 1% of your audience happy, which is another way of saying that's making over 99% of your audience unhappy. And I'm not saying 7%. I'm saying a 1/7 of 1% is how many people would be allowed to go into the park. So another way of looking at that is that's a way of saying you're going to make over 99% of your customers unhappy. And look, most will completely understand. And those that understand will be the guests that will be quietly understanding. But some will not understand, and those will be the loudest people in this equation. And whenever you're running a business, you always have to think about, how do I service my most difficult customer? Because if I can service them, then by proxy, I make everyone else happy. It's kind of how rules work. Set up rules for the crazy ones, everybody else falls in line. So for Disneyland, this is a no-win situation because they need that annual pass revenue to keep the park where it once was. But on the other hand, not keeping their annual pass members happy works against having the program at all. You see, it's like they need the money, but they can't give the people what they've promised. It's a real business catch-22. So here's a case sample of how this could probably work, and a case sample of not being able to make your most loyal customers happy. I personally pay over $1,400 a year to have access to the park every single day. I only go once a week, but I love the idea of any time I want to go, I have a key that opens up the park. And I just can't even imagine being told, no, I can't go when it's actually open. I love having that freedom. And I understand it's a privilege. But some people pay $400 on the lower end of the scale to go seasonally. They're very used to hurdles, they're very used to restrictions, but they feel that the $400 is the deal to go on the times when they're allowed to show up. So how does Disneyland keep the $400 customer with a very limited amount of park days happy, while keeping me, the most expensive customer, happy that was promised to go to the park whenever I want? Simply put, Disneyland cannot offer me what I've paid for. So with 7,000 reservations available a day, do they do a tiered system where, since my group pays 3 times as much, we get 3 times as many reservations? If the top tier were to get 3,000 of those reservations, does that mean the family that spends $400 per person only gets 500 reservations available per day? If you're following along with the math here, you can see that this is a massive amount of people, which has a small amount of supply, and the supply and demand is just completely off to keep people happy. So most likely there will be a pause coming, but not a go away forever. A letter that recently came out from Disneyland to their AP program members. After an already incredible, difficult month for the Disneyland Resort, we are heartbroken and disappointed, and understand many of you feel the same. We want to thank you immensely for your patience since our closure, and let you know that we continue to think about you as our valued annual pass holders. This is a major problem that they know they have to figure out. They also have to keep some line of communication with their customers, because not everybody has the luxury to just be like, give it to me when you give it to me. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people that are AP holders are also people that live in Anaheim that work for the businesses that support the park. The key for success here is to figure out a way to keep people happy and to keep the revenue coming in. That is how this problem gets solved to a successful outcome. And they say here, valued annual pass holders. There is a tremendous value in business of having 1 million subscribers to any service. That is an envy of any business. They're between a rock and a hard spot because they can't afford to let us go, but they also can't give us what they've promised. So to me, it sounds as if a pause is coming to let the storm pass, and then things will resume. While we work to understand the implications of this and determine what it means for our annual pass resort program, we know that you have many questions, and given the latest guidance from the state, we will have more to share with you on the future of our AP program soon. We also want to let you know that the efforts to reopen Disneyland Resort will continue as we work to seek solutions to bring our cast back to work, to get our local economy moving, and share the magic and joy of our theme parks once again. This email I see as a way to keep the lines of communication open, and also maybe sort of break the ice that there could be a change coming, to get people used to the idea that things might not be the same, but to also hammer in, we value you, we know that you love the park, we love how you love the park, we want to work together to solve this. It gets people thinking, gets people talking that a change is coming. This is also a way to let people know, like, hey, we understand you're seeing the news that we're seeing. The park might be closed for another 6 months, 7 months, who knows, a year. Hate to say that out loud, but this just says we understand that you're just as confused and concerned as we are. We're working to figure this out. As soon as we know something, we'll let you know something. That kind of stops the bleeding of people that are calling, messaging, trying to figure out what they can and looking for refunds or to know what the future holds when they don't even know. This is my prediction on what to expect. Disneyland will probably put the annual pass holder program on pause. They will either settle up with everyone by giving you just the money back that they owe you on the days that you couldn't cash in on, or they will say you have 60 days left. After that, we cannot offer you a new passport. It will go one way or the other. Now there's another version where they let guests decide. Walk away today, we make amends with giving you dates or cash back, or stay in the program and have patience. I doubt this scenario will be the way that it goes, but I pray that it does, because at this moment, I'm not worried about the money. I just want to be an annual pass holder, and I want to make sure that I have that thing that I love so much in my wallet and in my mind. And I don't want to go. I don't want this to go away. There's also another interesting variable that could work with this solution, to where if most people walk away because they don't like the new terms and they keep a small amount of annual pass holders, this could help them backfill days where ticketed people don't necessarily show up. This is all on an estimation that enough people will want to buy full price tickets to pack out the park. So a buffer of a certain amount of annual pass holders could help them fill out those days. What if regular ticketed guests don't show up is a whole other chapter in this video series. So the park could reopen in a scenario where it is hard tickets only. Everybody has to buy a ticket to go to the park. Then, slowly, as things get back to normal and they're allowed to let more people come into the park, the game of supply and demand will begin, which means as they have more room to fill out the park, they will slowly start to figure out, do we offer different kinds of annual passes? Do we offer different types of multi-ticket values? Slowly, as they start to see they have more room, Disney will start to hedge their bets to make sure they have that influx of, maybe in the beginning, 5,000, 10,000 people a day, just to pad out the park, to always keep it at full and to keep everything as profitable as possible. Because really, that's what this is all about. So be thinking that there could be different types of annual passes. We saw the Flex Pass come out that really added a lot of value for people looking to save money and also to have a patience on when they could go to the park, or look for extreme deals on multi-ticket offerings. That could be another way that this slowly transitions back in. But friend, you will know when things are back to normal, when Disneyland has over 65,000 guests per day and annual passes are available and making up half of the daily attendance. Look, Disneyland, first and foremost, is a locals park. It caters to local guests returning. And in many ways, the park has evolved into what it is right now to keep locals happy, to keep us coming back, and to keep us spending. To keep it short, keeping us happy keeps them very profitable. And after all, this is a business that brings in $8 billion per normal year. So with keeping us happy keeps them profitable, next week we will look at, in this series, just how much money the annual pass program creates for the Disneyland Resort, to help you better understand my theory of why they simply cannot afford to let us go, but maybe, just for a while, put us on pause. But today I wanted to cut to the chase to give you peace of mind that, like me, the most valuable thing that I own, it's not going away forever. Maybe just for a little while. Kind of like the park itself right now. But friend, I hope 2020 has taught you patience, understanding, and perspective. All three of those will come in handy to slowly get back to being the citizen of Disneyland that you once were. And as someone who paid to get into the park every single day of the year, I look forward to getting what I get, and I will be happy with it. Disneyland is trying to navigate some serious hard times, both financially, with crowd safety, and with customer satisfaction. This series of videos will be a way to keep you informed, to give you a positive perspective, and to let you have someone who's not trying to scare you, but give you the facts as best as possible and a strong business opinion on where all this could go, to give you a little bit of peace of mind. If you enjoyed today's video, by all means, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. What do you think about my prediction? Where do you think all this is going? And if you have a question for me, I love answering your questions in future videos. So friends, until the next time I see you in Disneyland, I'll see you here on the channel with more Disneyland news. Thank you for watching this new series.